The Big Call with Bruce. Intel Notes by PinkRoses, December 29, 2016. Bruce says, "Thank you all for listening to the Big Call. If the blessing comes between now and our next call, we will set up a recorded call. It would be short and put it on a link for everybody to click on. That is our intention. We really didn't know we would be doing a call tonight. Intel-wise, it's been relatively quiet. We have an inclination of what is coming. Bruce says we have had international people call to hear the call. We have had more requests outside the North American continent. I find that interesting. I appreciate that. Welcome financial people, as well as regular listeners. It is interesting. We have a lot of good intel. Bruce says, I want to mention a few things you might want to mention when it comes to your exchange process. It has to do with the setting up with segregated trust. It is a legal term. First, Bruce is not an attorney or a CPA. That term is setting up a separate trust for each asset that we have that we want to protect. I think it is a really good concept. We haven't really gone into the trust discussions because they are really controversial. If you have a nice home, one or two cars, maybe a boat, farm property, a few assets, the thinking is instead of lumping them into one trust, which you will want to check in with your attorney, the thing is to have a separate trust for each asset. One for your home, one for your car, one for your boat, one for your farm or resort property, etc. Whatever the asset is set it up in separate trust. The reason is if the veil was pierced on that trust and lose it in a lawsuit, the only loss would be that one asset in the trust. Say you set it in a car wreck, get it in a car wreck, that is your fault, something like that, and they went against you and went after your car in the trust and seek damages. The only thing they would get is that asset. The theory is they couldn't attach your house, your boat, etc. Check with your attorney if that is a wise strategy. That was recommended by someone I knew very well. I can only say what I probably do. What I probably do is in my case. Bruce says when you exchange, a lot of us will use Wells Fargo, HSBC. They would be able to provide a number of trusts, upwards of 5 to 7 trusts with no charge, a benefit of doing the exchange. I think available in the management side of Wells Fargo. You can ask about this. You want a number of trust names and LLC names. Have them ready and written down so one or more of them can be utilized at the time of your exchange. Not that you will be setting up 5 to 7 trusts at the same time of your exchange. The time amount of your exchange is an hour to an hour and 20 minutes. The goal is to have at least one name that will work for your skeleton trust that no one has in the district. that you are going to exchange in. So you will have that, and you won't be wondering, what will I call my trust? Your skeleton trust have those names written down on a list. Write 7 or 8 names down. They can be something different. Maybe they're uh, that one has thought of. You can change those as you need to, so they can work for you. If there is an IEN number available, they will need a name associated to it. You may put your LLC inside a trust. Ask your attorney if this makes sense for you. Bruce says, we talked about rates in the past. We have used rates in the past. A general idea on the front screens now. The Iraqis were celebrating yesterday in Iraq happily because they have an international tradable currency now. They do have a rate greater than the rate that was before we invaded Iraq. That dinar rate is over $5. It is on the front screens and it is solid. That is a nice screen rate. And that rate, if you exchange, this is just my understanding of the process, there is no NDA for the screen rate. So if you don't want an NDA, you are looking for over $5 for the Iraqi dinar. The Vietnamese dong is over $2 of the screen rate. Showing this is the current market rate. Bruce says, as far as you exchanging, your particular rate is negotiable. If you decide to negotiate it, that is why we use the term negotiating rate, based on your humanitarian projects, longevity, infrastructure, job creation, or of so many jobs is in a period of time. Going 10 to 50 years, maybe longer, a project. The information and the way you present it will go a long way in terms of you negotiating higher rates on the ZIM, the dong, and the dinar. Look at the screen rates as your starting point. If you are not afraid of the 3/4 page NDA, you might be willing to negotiate a higher rate and thus receive a larger mother load. Bruce says the concept of a so-called God account is to use, instead of a one name title, or a one-time tithe, one-time tithe of 10 to 20%. Initially, I take 20% of a mother load, let it grow, and take that every quarter. I thought that is an interesting concept. Then I came up with the idea of the ZIM. It is worth so much, and I know I can negotiate a higher rate. Now now it makes more sense that we do the exchange and have a mother load account form of our currency. So of our currency. So we have dinar, we have dong, or rupiah apart from ZIM. Why not use ZIM as your God account? If you have enough of the other currencies, you can use them to take care of your personal needs. There's to be so much available of the mother load of the ZIM, you can set up a very large God account for that. It is an idea that if they say we lose if they say we love your idea of the project, how much you leave in the bank and trust take interest. I think they have guidelines of 85% for humanitarian projects, 15% for your needs, whatever you wish to do with it. Maybe the percentage is 50-20 or 90-10. Maybe you can have a very small percent for you and your for you and a large percent for your humanitarian projects. I think it is a great concept because the numbers, even at $1, are uh, on the Zim would be the screen rate. Maybe it may be higher or lower. We understand even the screen rate back in November 1st was $1. It has been bounding up quite a bit higher, whatever the screen rate is. No lop on the zeros. It is a bond and treated as a bond. A 10 or 100 trillion note comes out to do the math. It will be at that amount. Bruce says, I suggest you consider the idea of a God account for the majority of your Zim exchange. Number one, can't spend it all. Number two, it will gain growth with interest every quarter. You can use those funds to fund humanitarian projects and ministries and others like that. Any money you don't spend every quarter giving or doing projects compounds and goes back in the account and makes more the next quarter. Consider that. Bruce says, I am going to get myself up so I can fund humanitarian projects, hire people, crank out the retreats, and rebuild America for building up the country again. It can include housing as we adopt a city, town, a community, which is the heart of the Rebuild America in all 50 states. I am looking for partners doing this. I am not looking for money, but for you to adopt a city and help in terms of concept and run with it based on how you see it in your particular community or city. Pastor Stephen and I know the concept called find a need, meet a need, change a nation. We found the need. We see the need in the cities, the neighborhoods that need housing. We found the need. Meet the need by rebuilding, designing, improving, restoring properties. Thus change the nation. We change the nation by improving the standards of housing, of hospitals, of clinics, the standards of working with our veterans, standards of infrastructures, working with communities, townships, maybe putting together grants for roads and bridges. This takes billions or even trillions of dollars. This is why I want to ask for the higher rates. If you're going to be a part of to rebuild America, I know it seems like a lot of money, and it will be. Think in terms of new roads, new bridges, new infrastructure, new hospitals, new schools. It takes real money to do it right. Think of putting in school with the latest teaching techniques, etc. Putting those into effect all over the country. Remember when it was a big deal when students got laptops or tablets in the classrooms, it is still a big deal to offer technology. If you had some real technology, you can really learn on large, big screen monitors. You can actually do distance learning, e-campus, or high school level, on a high school level, even grade school level. It is just technology. We get it and know how to do it. Think of innovation. Think of areas that don't have the internet fast enough. We can be part of that to set up internet infrastructure to make it faster. I think that is where fiber optics are really big. One of you help one of your help cities with fiber optics. What about uh, Maglev Railway? Railway. Don't limit yourself. Think big. Think big. Bruce says on Tuesday we said it was quite out there. It was, and it still is. However, we know that quite a bit of money is moving around now, especially in the West. There are people gearing up for exchanges straightway, starting on Monday. I know about that. This is next year, but January 2nd, I told you, I thought we were looking good for this side of New Year's Eve. I believe that is still their plan to let us have notification prior to that. Maybe they don't want the exchange to start until the new year, Sunday in the new year. The banks take a holiday on January 2nd, Monday. That should be true as far as the banks. The redemption centers do not have to follow that same schedule. Bruce, I know they intended to utilize the redemption centers for at least a half a day on Saturday, maybe until 2 p.m. Maybe that is a good possibility for us. We are looking at the possibility of going still uh, between tonight and maybe late tonight, New Year's Eve, as far as notification. They want to bring the Zim in right away, as much as they can before the end of the year. Maybe this is still their goal. We will see. The church groups notified before early morning start time, before Monday afternoon. We are in position or in line with the church groups. We may or in any we may or may not be on the same time frame. Everything I am hearing points to a lot of activity happening between now and Saturday afternoon. I haven't heard anything about Sunday, but a lot is now still Saturday afternoon and on Monday. Bruce says nobody is going to want 2016 to pass by quickly. Then I wish. I am looking forward for 2017 to be a year of jubilee. We are very much part of history and prophecy. The time increase at the exchange from an hour to an hour and 15 minutes for your exchange. When you come back to meet with your wealth management or Abbott and Downing on your case, or what your case may be, you will follow up at that meeting. You will come out of your exchange with some USN, rainbow money, also debit card or credit card that will be temporarily at the time of your appointment, so you can come out of those of there with a line of 50 trillion dollars on that $50 million on that. Your percentage of which could be gold or a black card. I am going to stay away from black card because if you in a part of the country all have one, no big deal. But if not, probably you could stick out. It is like a sore thumb and could be a target for having one. I'm going to stick with the platinum card. You decide that. Bruce says you will be able to do one bank wire also. Have your banking information already written down as the account number and routing number you want to wire it to you if you plan to wire funds from your initial exchange to your hometown bank. You may want a cashier's check also, but not a bunch of them. I wouldn't do more than one. The bank wire will be a lot for you. You can wire money over and get some cashier's checks, pay off debt. You can do that with the hometown bank. Take care of your old life with your smaller account. Take care of your new life with your family account, office and wealth management people at Wells and at HSBC and so on. You may want to diversify some of your funds and move some funds around at your local appointment. Tell them that you want to diversify some of my funds, not keep all eggs in one basket. Consider how much you want to move and what banks. Let those bank contacts know this. You want to meet with their asset people to do that, to set up an account, to move funds over. This is a neat way to diversify, whether you do it domestically or internationally. It is just to get there. Get your exchange done. Get your cash. Come out with credit card, cashier's check, wire money. Get in and out. Be respectful of the time. Most of all, smile. Look at all of them in their eyes and be pleasant and fun. It is not a performance act. It is a way for you to explain from your heart what you want to do for humanity in the United States and then internationally, or both locations. Try to rebuild America, rebuild Canada, rebuild part of your country. We may do things with Honduras, Mexico, etc. All these places we can consider helping. There are water wells, water purification. We want to a way for you to chime in on new websites. All the things you can compare notes, so we don't have to reinvent the wheel. You put your city as we want to do it anonymous as possible to respect the sovereignty of all. I think it is a cool concept. We can do this. We don't anybody send in a ton of emails yet. We are not quite ready for that. Bruce says we want to get the notification number. If we are honored to receive that number, we put it out on recorded call for you and at various locations online, and we will get it out there. We will be in about 3 weeks have another call. We will have a new format like podcast. This that be online, so you don't have to dial in unless you want to. We will have the call. Bruce says we are where we need to be right now. Didn't think we have uh, didn't think we have this at Christmas. Yes, before end of year. Yes, we think so. That is what we are doing, or we are being told. See if it happens or not. I think it is here. It's just going to take a little longer to receive notification. Then we are up and running. Keep in faith. Nobody quits. Everybody wins. Someone put out, it is time to put your resignation at your job in. No, don't do that. Stay with plan A until after you get your appointment for the exchange, and probably don't make major life changes until you walk out of your redemption. Then you think, okay, now where are we going to celebrate? We do this and do that. Don't quit the job yet. I would advise you to stick with the plan A until your plan B is manifest to us. You know what we're thinking about. Yes, you are smart. Bruce says we are going to bring in the new year, hopefully, with an 800 number. And then we still will be exchanging as soon as we are able to, based on that notification. We are lined up for that, I feel. I am very excited about it. I'm excited in the new year, and the next year will be a total jubilee year. Let's see what transpires between now and Saturday afternoon. Bruce says, I want to thank Bob for being so dedicated, Kent behind the scenes, Pastor Stephen for his teachings, Sue for her voice and professionalism. Everybody is important, and we are thankful for that. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Many for 5 years. We look toward a great teaching for the big call next year. Stay tuned to our website, thebigcall.net, for calls. Further information, we look forward to a short celebration call between now and Tuesday night. Good night, everybody. Thank you, Big Call, and Bruce hugs. And that's it. Just click below to go to this, and you're going to want to listen to this a couple times to make sure you understand it. And thank you all so very much.